right, gentlemen, what do we do now?
Make it snow again. Blow the whistle.
All right. How's that?
Could you wait on me, please?
Hey, in a moment, madam.
I'm sorry, but I'm in a hurry.
I'm afraid this gentleman was here before you.
I know, but I want to buy one.
Well, I have no reason to believe this gentleman's not a potential customer.
Blow the whistle.
Sorry, Senator. The lady seems to have friends in high places. All right, now let me tell you about the train.
Hey folks, it's the Blind Guy here again, coming back at you with a good old movie recommendation, and this week we are covering Christmas movies entirely, and we're looking at a good one this time. It's good and it's old. This is Holiday Affair, starring Robert Mitchum and Janet Leigh, directed by Don Hartman. It came out in 1949. And this movie is pretty underrated in my opinion. It is considered a classic. You will see it on Turner Classic Movies quite often. Right now it's on demand on there if you want to check it out. But it only scores a 7.2 on IMDb. And I think this movie actually deserves to be up in the 8.0 range. It's that good. So it covers Janet Leigh, who is a comparison shopper and a widow with a 6.5-year-old boy named Timothy. And she runs into Robert Mitchum's character, who's working at a department store, and he cuts her some slack with being a comparison shopper, which I guess back then was something that was a no-no in these stores. Now it's interesting because businesses like to have reviews and be compared to other businesses, but apparently not in the 1940s. Robert Mitchum then loses his job and strikes up a friendship with Janet Leigh, who is already dating somebody else. Now, the movie's called Holiday Affair, even though nobody's technically having an affair in this movie. I think the title more means like a holiday happening or an occurrence, like using the word affair like that, from what I can tell. But she's dating somebody who is already a pretty great guy, but he's very different from Robert Mitchum. And so the movie has got a lot of pretty funny parts in it. The boy who plays Timothy does an excellent job. I guess there are two different ways directors can take having child actors, because having children act is often very difficult. Some directors, like Spielberg, I guess, will heavily script the child's lines and all of their movements and just really work with them super hard on that stuff, where other directors, I guess, like Don Hartman, let the child flow and just have the other actors react and improvise with what the child's doing. And I guess they both seem to work, but it really does work well in this movie. Timothy's actor does a great job. I didn't look up his name, but for a little kid actor, he's only like 6.5 years old. He does a pretty good job, and most child actors do not. So there's that aspect of the movie that's really great. And then just the dilemma that Janet Leigh has put into, where she's got a safe choice in the man that she's currently dating, and then someone that she's a better match with probably in Robert Mitchum's character, and being somebody who's put in that situation in the past and having chose poorly. I really empathize with her situation, and I guess that Howard Hughes was in charge, because he owned the company that produced this movie. He was in charge of how Janet Leigh looked in this movie, her hair, her wardrobe, everything, which is kind of weird, but also she looks absolutely adorable in this movie. They did a good job of making her attractive, but also seem like she's a widow on a widow's budget, so she doesn't have necessarily the 1940s glamorous look, but she looks great in this movie. And she does a great job acting. You would believe she was the mom of Timothy and a single mom. It's an excellent movie. It's got nice atmosphere for the Christmas season. It's got trains in it. There's something cool about trains in Christmas. I don't know how to quite explain that, but they're just part of the romantic type atmosphere that goes with the holiday. And the acting's good. Robert Mitchum, it's my favorite movie that he's in. He does a good job in it. It's just... there is one interesting scene that I would like to hear you guys' thoughts on. They this is fascinating because, everybody talks about how winters are getting shorter and all that. They talk about that in this movie, and this is 1949, and how the winters used to be longer, and now all the snow's just slush, and they blame it on nuclear bombs in the movie, which I found was very interesting. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. I just don't think you can go wrong with this one. This one is, in my opinion, it's up there with It's a Wonderful Life. I think it's got some aspects of it that I actually like a little better. Maybe I'll do a little versus video between those two. I know that It's a Wonderful Life is considered the greatest Christmas movie of all time, but this one, it can give it a run for its money, that's for sure. So that is Holiday Affair from 1949. If you guys like that kind of romantic comedy Christmas type movie, I really think you'll enjoy this one. Check it out, and I will see you on the next episode of A Blind Guy's View. Laters on the Minjay.
Laters on the Minjay.